This one's very heartbreaking. A 9-year-old boy died while tubing in Boulder Creek today. Police say he fell off his tube and went missing in the water just before 5 p.m. today. A few minutes later, first responders pulled him out of the water and performed CPR. He was then taken to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police say the child's parents sustained some injuries, but those are not life-threatening.
Now, because of the dangerously high waters, some communities have even had to close down creeks to tubers as a precaution. Denver 7's Danielle Corder has a look at how all of this rain is affecting the rafting industry and the safety measures guides are taking.
On an average day, Clear Creek is a little more clear.
It's kind of strange for Colorado. Every afternoon has gotten cloudy and rainy and cooled off a little bit.
A wet spring has been filling Colorado creeks and rivers. Whenever the water is a dark brown color like this, that usually indicates a lot of rain has fallen in the creek.
We've just been counting down the days. Every day it rains, it's like, yes.
Anthony Garcia and his family have been rafting each year for
last 10 years or so.
This weekend, they felt the difference on the beginner route immediately.
Before it was more like floating on a lake compared to this year where it's almost exciting as the intermediate just on the beginner.
This water is rushing at about 600 CFS, cubic feet per second.
Our beginner trip age limit's 5. If it gets typically around over 800 CFS, we bump it up to like 9 or 10, depending on the water levels. And then we're stricter on our other sections as well. We employ safety kayakers, so they always come with us so that no one is able to outrun a boat or anything if they were to fall out.
Guides say the cooler, rainy weather is creating a more steady snow melt and runoff.
What this allows is the runoff, the bell curve's more like this, and so we have better water for longer. It's not super high.
If it stays that way, it's good news for families like the Garcias.
We brought my daughter and my other brothers.
And guides aiming for fun and safe trips.
I think we're gonna stay in that sweet spot for quite a while, hopefully like another month.
In Idaho Springs, I'm Danielle Corder, Denver 7.
Danielle, thank you. Taking a closer look tonight, Colorado's rafting industry is expanding because of all the rain we've seen this year. For the first time in years, people are actually able to raft down the Dolores River in Cortez. Most of the time, the river runs too low for that, but because of the rain and snowpack runoff, the water level is about twice as high as it was this time last year.
In the past 20 years, only about 2,500 people have commercially rafted this. It is a once every few years thing. Last time I was down here, we talked to some guys who were like, we haven't been down here since the 80s.
Glad to see it. Typically, the water that would boost the Dolores River is captured in the McPhee Reservoir to pump into nearby cities, but with the full reservoir this year, more water can be released back into the river.
And if you are going rafting this summer, pay attention because the rules governing commercial rafting companies can be weak. Most recently, the Eagle County Sheriff's Office says a teen died after their boat flipped over during a rafting trip on the Colorado River last weekend. Our partners at the Denver Post reported Colorado has no state regulations on how old someone needs to be for intermediate or expert rafting trips. Typically, companies set age limits based on water levels. There's also no state law that requires guides to have radio or satellite phone communication. Now remember, you can stay up to date with the rain and storms anytime with the free Denver 7 Plus app. You can also find us 24/7 on your Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and Android TV devices.